detective said you had something important to tell us.
There was a girl in the car with it. There's evidence she'd set up an elaborate plan to have their pictures taken together.
She'll handle it.
Sure, she'll handle it. I mean, they've already killed two. What's one more body just because she's a good-looking cop who can dance?
Drop the arm, Billy.
Get some clothes on, slut.
Hey,
I don't know, Bill. He's a male Caucasian, 30 to 50. He may or may not be Edward Lytell.
That's all?
That's all. If you sit on 4 or 5 sticks of dynamite.
This is definitely a fixer-upper.
I know. I saw George Daner. No thanks.
Oh, he's the one, isn't he?
Oh,
the guy who blew this sure knew what he was doing.
Well, somebody certainly didn't want the driver ID'd.
boy. Then how do we account for a wallet in the pocket of a guy alone in Lover's Lane waiting to be blown to bits?
Wait a minute. He wasn't alone. The finger. Looks like a clean print intact. The blast rammed it into the upholstery.
But you still can't tell it's his?
Well, I can say it isn't, unless he used red nail polish.
Sergeant, thank you for agreeing to this private meeting. The damn press have a way of painting very sordid pictures about politicians these days.
You must forgive us. Somewhere along the way, we Van Dykes had the idea that whatever we did was acceptable to people simply because we chose to do it.
Oh, sit down, sit down.
Mrs. Lytell, the night of your husband's disappearance, did you have any plans?
No, I was busy at the governor's committee all day, and Edward was into some crime organization investigation. We had no idea when we'd be free.
You're an attorney in his office, aren't you?
Well, only occasionally now. We just had our first child.
Is it possible that your husband's disappearance may have had something to do with a case he was working on?
Everyone knows that George Daner is as tenacious, if not more so, than Edward. It would be silly to think that harming either one of them would stop any investigation.
Then he had no special plans, business or personal.
I'll have one of my people brief you on Edward's complete file.
Sir, I don't want a public statement. I'm just looking for a lead.
Father, please. No. No special plans. Sergeant, I have a feeling that you have not yet said what you brought us here to tell us.
No, ma'am, I haven't.
Is it very bad?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You don't know? Frank, what is it?
I'm sorry. There's just no easy way to ask for medical records.
You found him?
Well, we can't be certain until we've done an autopsy.
Oh, no. Father, please, let them make me see, please.
Easy, honey, easy. Take it easy, sweetie. How did it happen?
His car was destroyed in an explosion. Somebody set a time bomb to go off after he drove away.
From where?
We don't know. That's why I was asking the questions. We don't know where to start.
Was anyone else hurt?
No, he was alone.
We had an argument that day. It was all about the wrong things. I mean, he was about to die. We should have been fighting about my love affairs. But you see, he was my only lover. We would have been married 7 years this month. And we planned a trip. He wanted to go to the Orients, and I said I wanted Europe, and he got angry and he left. What a stupid reason for an argument on the last day of your life.
Sergeant, my son-in-law was a political maverick. Who knows what this is all about? My son's careers, our family name. He never cared. At any rate, a call from you was leads develop before the press. And, of course, the results of the autopsy would be appreciated.
I'm sorry, all I can give you is the results of the autopsy.
I explained. We have a very peculiar problem.
Yes, I know. You have sons and you're worried about their careers. Well, I have people and I'm worried about their lives. I can't tell somebody our step-by-step movements. Now, I'm going to keep this thing just as quiet as possible until we find out what it's all about.
Thank you, Sergeant. Frank?
Crowley,
Yeah,
why did you say Lytell was alone?
I don't know. A hunch, I guess.
There's a lot of activity around your office. I want to know about it, Sergeant.
There usually is a lot of activity around my office, George.
He was my boss. He was my friend. I've got every right to be told what you know.
Know what, Mr. Assistant to the Special Prosecutor to the Mayor?
That bugs you, doesn't it? That Edward Littell and I are going to help you clean some of the scum out of this city.
Hey, George, you need any help cleaning up the city? Gladys is terrific, honest.
That's it. Paris Palmer, age 26, black, dancer, arrested 14 times, all minors.
Paris Palmer, huh? Man, she's got a beautiful face, even a mugshot. Last known address.
All right, hey, enough. Next.
All you have to say is no. You don't have to stomp their heads in.
All right, girls, thank y'all. No more for today. Come back again. I'll miss no more auditions for today.
Oh, I'm looking for a friend.
What you call information, huh?
Her name is Palmer. She works here. Paris Palmer.
What's yours?
Flaxie. Dupree. Paris invited me here. She split. Some square John came into her life and they walked off together into the sunset. Oh, no. You gotta be kidding me. Will you give her a message for me? She won't be back. Well, how do you know?
Look, you write her a letter. There are no more auditions for today.
Oh, some friend. She calls me and says, hey, Flaxie, come on out here and unwind with me. So I give up this great job at Cattleman's in Reno to this, to play to an empty house. Thanks a lot. Now what am I gonna do?
Any good?
At what? Well, I enjoy myself.
If you're good, it's an advance. If you're not so good, let's call it a donation.
You got my kind of music?
Music.
She's got some.
I got a direct connection to Paris Palmer.
Call Reno, check her out.
Coley, are you crazy? You want to die?
Call. How was your free time? Like private parties?
No way. I call my own shots.
You forgot your audition fee.
You can keep it. I don't need it.
Double or nothing. You got less than $10 in your purse. 1, 2, 3, 4. I win. Let me give you a hand. Got a room? Did you eat lately? Let me buy you a drink.
I'll take some coffee. It's safer.
Last person I saw chow down like that was 12 years old. It's my boy, David. He was going to be a warrior like his namesake. If he'd lived. He's a nice kid. He's always happy and laughing. Sometimes if I try real hard, I can even hear him laughing now.
You got a funny way about you. 10 minutes ago, I wanted to kill you.
Now?
Now, I'll give you a few minutes more.
Look over on the wall there. See all those pictures of the athletes? They hang them up there because you can hit a ball or tackle somebody. But if you're born poor, you gotta make do with what you have. And I had a way, like you said.
Well, sir, Mr. Andrew Sims, thank you for the food and the company.
Will I see you tonight? new employees.
A toast to what?
Better times, baby. And you deserve it.
For a small town saloon keeper from Alabama.
Oh, Tennessee, please.
You got a pretty good line.
You got a pretty nice smile.
It's a lot easier for me if we keep it strictly business, okay?
Okay, fine with me. Let's talk business then.
About those private parties, it's still no thanks. Is that what Paris was into?
Yeah, she pulled her weight, yeah.
Well, not me.
Listen, all you do, you take a few pictures with the dude, kind of a souvenir of his trip. You get a nice slice of the bread, which I believe you can use.
Oh, I'm rich. Remember? I got $105.
And your smile gets nicer all the time, too.
Mr. Sims, sir, there are two things I want. A good job and to be left alone. And a little champagne now and then.
I heard you were working in the stable. I didn't believe it. Come on, Flexi.
This used to be my husband, and he still acts that way every time he gets a chance. Billy Dupree, this is my new boss, Andrew Sims from Tennessee. I got a paper says he shouldn't bother me.
That paper didn't take nothing away from me.
Drop the arm, Billy.
Get some clothes on, slut.
Hey, buddy.
Will you? Just take your hands off of me. Come on. It's a big deal. We had a little argument.
There's also a restraining order keeping you away from your ex-wife.
Yeah? That's what I get for going into that barn.
You know if Paris Palmer worked there?
Huh? You talking to me?
Talking to you.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me!
Paris Palmer. You know she worked there?
I don't know. I think maybe I heard my wife mention her.
Yeah, well, Florence Baker, dancer down there, just mentioned she's missing. You know anything about that?
Listen, huh? Don't you ask this creep. Hey, creep, what'd you do with the body?
You!
Not enough teeth in this comb to dent a mashed potato sandwich. Can I use yours? What kind of disease do I have?
See, I just don't lend my comb to strangers who, well, you know.
Who what?
Who come on big with the boss. And in the first round, too.
Now, just a second. He followed me out of here this afternoon.
Well, he sure followed the way you came on with him.
Oh.
Hey, come on, that's enough. Let's go. Let's walk it up.
I say you got him nervous.
You got his fingerprints.
You must like the place.
I was just leaving.
I buy you a cup of coffee?
No, but you can buy me a drink.
What do you have?
White wine.
Ed, white wine.
Very dry.
Very dry. Put on that new tape, all right?
What's this?
You think I was kidding about moving uptown? You remember that coffee joint we were in the other day? They had the pictures of the ball players on the wall. Well, this is my team. This is where I'm going to play someday. I'm making contacts all the time.
You going to set a mood?
I'm going to try. May I? Come on. Yeah, don't be worried. I wouldn't lay a glove on you in a crowded place like this. How'd you ever make a mistake like that? Marrying a punk?
Oh, it was easy. He was saying what you're saying. He was going places. Only then, I was a believer.
Yeah, the difference is I mean it.
Like I mean it when I say I'm worried.
About Paris?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really worried about her. How nobody can find her. She could even be dead. And here I am dancing with her boss.
Yeah, but I'm alive. You're alive. Excuse me, I got a little problem. You working over?
Where's Florence?
Girls took her out and sobered her up. Now you leave her be, Macon.
Oh, my. You worried about one lush now? What difference does it make, Coley? After what we did.
The difference is that we were forced to do the other thing.
I got my prints, Coley. Now, you know what happens if those prints go to the right place?
I'll get them pulled. I'll call my friend.
Oh, and don't tell me about your friends. You are talking to your friend, Coley. Those others ain't gonna keep you out of the gas chamber for 5 seconds unless we run from here, and I mean now.
I'm through riding the rails. I got everything set here. Nobody's gonna spoil it.
You realize it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning? You can't even get your friend during the daytime, Coley.
Prince really shook him up. Macon just came in looking like a ghost.
Well, that must mean he's got a big secret someplace. We'll just have to find it.
Yeah. He did. Right. Okay, doll. Crazy. Call you tomorrow. You all right?
Where's Sims?
Inside.
So what?
He was her guy. He's dead 6 days. Paris is missing 6 days. They were going out that night.
Honey, just...
I'll get a cab.
Let her go.
Come on.
See her handle that knife?
We're walking it off.
A deal like Paris has. That's all I want. A big, expensive pad where they never see trash like us.
Florence, is she all right?
I don't know.
You mentioned her pad. Do you know where it is?
Yeah?
Florence, I want you to go there. Talk to the
Taxi?
doorman. Ask him, is she okay? Then get in touch with me and let me know.
Doorman, sure. As long as the rent's paid, nobody gives a damn about anybody.
Do it, honey.
Well, where to, ladies?
1427 amps.
So you'll lock up, boss?
I'll take care of it. Good night. You handle a knife like no dancer I ever saw.
I learned how to stay alive. Somebody said it was important. How about you?
What's that mean?
You're in some kind of trouble. You talk about life, big times ahead, but you're scared about something.
I'll get out of whatever I'm into.
What are you into?
I said I'll straighten it out. Come on, let's get out of here. The place gets me down sometimes.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you lost the girl?
I got zapped.
You what?
I mean, I got my skull tapped.
Does Pepper know?
No, not yet. Bill, I think there's a good chance we were overheard.
Yo, Pete, you better cut her in on it.
I can't. She split with the man.
How's Pepper?
She's on to it.
Yeah, she'll handle it.
Sure, she'll handle it. I mean, they've already killed two. What's one more body just because she's a good-looking cop who can dance? Especially since most of our people who go underground are hit by people who never even know they're wasting a cut. Sure, she'll handle it.
I just got word back from Reno. Blacksy Dupree worked there. Yes, sir. Yeah, she got into a thing with a customer. Customer made a pass at her, so she pulled a knife and cut him. Some friends got her out of town on the red eye. Boy, you are crazy.
I told you to leave Florence be.
I just took her away from that cabbie, that's all. Tried to get her to walk it off. She wouldn't stop screaming, Coley. And the cars kept going by. I started to shake her, but she jumped off that bridge. Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
We found some shoes and some dresses. And some men's clothing. And some very expensive suits. Size 42.
That's interesting.
How's your skull?
It's better, thank you. Now, this girl and this man,
Her, huh?
when he bought the apartment,
Did he actually pay the money?
well, she's just moving in with him, you know.
Uh-huh. Has anybody else been by?
Yes. Yeah.
When did he come by?
Yesterday.
He said he was staying out of the case.
The argument that my opponent presents is that I am rich. My father is influential and my brother is governor. He says we're building an empire. But we are rich because my great-grandfather started in this country with a line of beaver traps and a shed that barely kept him from freezing to death. And if he were here now, my brother-in-law, Edward Lytell, he would admit that he had those dreams too.
What brings you here, Sergeant?
Oh, I came to see a politician.
Which one?
You? Why didn't you tell me that Edward Lytell was running around with the dancer?
You refused to deal.
Deal? What are we doing, trading votes? You back my highway and I support your bridge. I thought you wanted to find a killer.
I do. That's why I'm here.
I know you'll vote for the man that you think will do the most good for our society.
He's gonna milk Edward's death. Bet.
Thank you. My father.
Who heaves a sigh of great relief now that Edward is swept under the carpet?
You mean kill one of their own?
He was not one of their own. He married one of their own. He hated what they were doing. He wanted to bring them down. He said power corrupts in the hands of a godfather or a Jonas Van Dyke. And you refused to help me get them.
Van Dyke wants to control the facts of this case for his reasons. You want to control them for yours. I mean, what's the difference?
You know my motives.
No, I know that Edward Lytell is dead, and now that he is, you get all the publicity out of that political thing you call the Special Prosecutor's Office. That's what I know, friend.
Peter Van Dyke. His family has.
Like your passenger.
Certainly is. Or was.
Come up there?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a bruise.
Yeah, it looks like somebody hit her with their fist.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Looks like she might have been hit and then was pushed or fell.
That place is running out of girls.
She was only 23.
She sure did a lot of wrong things in 23 years.
I didn't think she'd go this far.
She didn't, Pep. Somebody belted Royster and grabbed her.
Macon.
Or Sims.
It wasn't Sims. He was with me.
Yeah, well, he could have come back later and wasted her.
He was still with me. Later. But all he wasted was his time.
Hey, Bill, here's Macon Sims.
If you hadn't gotten Tennessee out of him, we'd still be looking for him. Louis Montgomery, alias Larry Macon, convicted murder 2. Coley Simon, alias Andrew Sims, convicted murder 2. Both escaped road gang 20 years ago.
I wonder what the circumstances were.
They killed somebody, does it matter?
Not to their victims, no.
Telex said that they got some other inquiries recently
From where?
from the special prosecutor's office.
Daner?
We can't ask, can we?
No, we can't. That would tip us. That'd tell them what we're really on to. Pep, you're closest to it. What do you think?
I think after that many years, they might be told to gamble on beating the extradition. So we'd have tipped it for nothing. But on the other hand, if word got around the late Edward Lytell's circle that a cop is holding Sims' hand, somebody very important might get nervous. If there is a somebody. So dial. Okay?
George Daner. Tell him Sergeant Crowley. George, this is all you get. The girl was in the car with him when he died.
Thanks for driving around with me last night.
Thanks for the tour of the city and all those high-class restaurants you want to own.
What are you reading? How to Travel the Right Way. Where are you going?
No place. I just like to read sometimes when I'm down. I took it off one of your shelves. Do you mind?
No. Does it help?
Takes me places I've never been.
Like New York?
Oh, I've been there.
How about the casinos on the French Riviera?
Any place I want to go. Like you.
Yeah, they're together now. They're in the parking lot talking.
The police made me look at Florence.
Now, don't worry. I won't let him bother you anymore.
No, you'll just send Macon after me. I've done a lot of things, and I will probably go to hell. But it will not be by your hands.
Well, things are getting rough, Bill.
Let them know you're there, Pete. But don't burn it.
Roger.
Sergeant.
Van Dyke. Certainly speaks well for Mr. Lytle to be remembered by so many friends.
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of them are only here for us to remember. That's why they came. Everyone, this is Sergeant Crowley.
Hello.
My father tells me you can't be pushed around.
Well, I don't think your father's trying very hard.
Your detective said you had something important to tell us.
Yes, sir. There was a girl in the car with him.
Who was she?
A dancer. He had bought her a condominium on Amberson Avenue.
How long have you known this?
Since the morning after we found the car.
What was she like?
Well, she was pretty, young, black.
All right. All right, there has to be a logical explanation. You know the sources Edward used to get his information. It won't hurt your campaign or mine.
Well, whatever the prosecutor's reasons, the girl had reasons of her own. There's evidence she'd set up an elaborate plan to have their pictures taken together. We also found a recorder. The tapes are missing, but we're looking for them.
Good Lord. How unfortunate.
That Edward had a mistress? Or that you're up for re-election this year, Jonas?
Christina, we were a family before I got into politics or before you met Edward. We're still a family.
I'm sorry, Jonas. There just has to be something else in this world for us to do. Something just very ordinary.
Can't we handle this deal quietly?
What do you mean, bury the inquiry?
No. No, we wouldn't want that. Just slow it down.
Look, I came here to tell you what I know before the press gets onto it. That's all I can do.
You absolutely refuse to understand our position.
Look, you don't understand mine. It may not be as awesome as yours, gentlemen, but it's all the position I got.
You know, someone you love dies. The sun should get dark for at least a little while.
Mrs. Lytle. Who in the special prosecutor's office would make inquiries to the out-of-state police?
My husband, George Dana, or any attorney on staff. Why do you ask?
Well, there's the chance your husband was using the girl in some sort of an investigation.
While having an affair with her?
Apparently so.
Strange. I met Edward. I fell in love with him. Lived with him, had his child. And yet you know the things I could never see.
Well, you see, I've got an advantage. I've got an agent working in the same place where the dead girl worked. She does all the digging for me.
My mama told me a lady of breeding is full of surprises. You don't answer that number you gave me. Then you call me.
Mr. Sims, you and I are beyond folksy homily. Our arrangement was clear. Edward's name was not to be tied to that girl's.
It won't be.
Unfortunately, your ambition outstrips your ability. The police already have evidence that she died in the car.
Where'd you hear that? We went over every inch of that car. We worked all night.
Have you somebody new in your employ? Well, I see you have. That person is a police officer, and at this moment looking for the tapes Paris Palmer made with my husband. Find them first.
Tapes?
And photographs. Your pretty young dancer was very enterprising. You should have made her your partner.
No way, no way. Paris Palmer was a nice little hustler, but she didn't have the brains to even turn a tape recorder on.
You're unfortunately mistaken about that, too. Somebody's been using you, and still is.
Where'd you hear all this?
The police sergeant who planted the agent.
They got nowhere to go. They're gonna start baiting suspects to see where it leads. And you let them hear.
No, I made sure I wasn't followed, and the car is rented.
You go home, Mrs. Lytell. You're safe. Not even Macon knows enough to hang you. I'm the only one who knows that. But I won't. Because you're going to start doing some of those favors we talked about, starting with Macon. Cops have got his prints. And if he's in trouble, I'm in trouble. And if that happens, what I did for you falls apart. Because I start to sing. So you better stop them from looking into him. And when that's done, then we'll talk about the other favors you're gonna do for me. So long, babe. You're a cop. You're a lousy cop. No. Put down.
Police emergency. This is Sergeant Anderson. Request ambulance 237 River Street. Gunshot. Make it fast.
1 out of 4. Dirt. This one's got carpet. I guess I made a little progress.
It was Christina Lytell who shot you, wasn't it?
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna pull through. Making good contacts.
Christina had access to her husband's office. That office contacted Tennessee police and asked questions about you. She was the only one who knew I'm a police officer. Andrew, where did you meet her? How? What did she have you do?
My mama used to say, suffer pain with pride. Live with pride. Do good things. I tried to do that.
Andrew, I need dates, places you met. I gotta have them.
Andrew. That is nice. Question. Am I gonna...
I don't know.
Louis.
Leave her alone, boy.
Macon goes free. That's part of it, all right?
I can only guarantee him to the door.
Okay, Louis. You go on out. You see all those places we talked about.
Come on, don't you fret about that, boy. Don't fret yourself, Coley. I'll do it.
You're our only way to get to Christina. You always wanted people to say, there goes Andrew Sims. He did something special. Do it now. Tear her down to what she really is.
When Vitale got mixed up with Paris, I tried to put the arm on him. He just laughed. So I went to her. Family name, all that. She was too smart for him. She went and got those old charges against me. Brought him to me. She said, kill him. You spend the rest of your life on a chain gang. She knew I'd do it. She just held out the brass ring. Hey, Lady Cobb. What's your real name?
Pepper.
But it's not lady enough for you.
He just died.
We will get her, won't we?
I don't know, Pepper. We got some voice on tape. Guarantee you one thing, we'll sure try.
I hate winter out here. It never gets cold enough, and it doesn't stay warm enough.
Where is your 6'3" assailant?
You tell me where he is. You're conducting the investigation. Where is he?
You were set up the other day. Bastery suckered you out. The last thing you need is to get in a hassle.
How much?
$1,000. Why don't you start counting it out?
Police officers, nobody...
I know it's sort of a mystery to some of you. We figured we'd better get some uniforms into this act. We don't want the local citizenry around here calling the cops on us. I'd hate to get blown away by our own people. Anyway, what we got here is a large-scale receiver. Hijacked truckloads are dropped and then repacked in this warehouse. Tonight there's a load of color TVs. We got a search warrant. 5 minutes after the truck arrives, we move in. Now, I'll coordinate with this thing. When we hit them hard. We don't announce till we get inside. These people are all into something pretty heavy. Our information says they're all armed. Now, you got anything to add?
You covered it.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay, Pep, everybody set?
He's in.
All right, let's go.
Police! Hold! Don't move! All right, hands on top of your heads. Get him up there. Try to face the truck. Let's go!
All right, let's check him out.
Search him.
Joe, give me a hand.
It's a dry run.
Yep.
Go look around this joint. You're in charge.
Hey, you got no right in here without a warrant.
Oh. Read, but don't touch. All right? Searching again.
He's only a kid.
Years old.
How could you know Bastry had a nephew living with him? You didn't know the boy was going to be in the warehouse, right?
15 years old, Pep.
You didn't have a fight with a boy. Isn't that right? That's what you told me. That's what you've got to tell them. Is that right? Hello?
Yeah, Pep. It's Joe. How's he doing?
Oh, okay.
You take care of him here. And look, let me talk to him for a minute.
Hold on. It's Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Hey, Billy. Look, the guys in Internal Affairs want to talk with you.
When?
Now? And they're surprised you're not down here.
Oh, Joe, you gotta help me. I can't do it tonight. Listen, tell them I've been drinking. Tell them I'm loaded. I'm not in any condition to talk, okay?
Yeah, okay. Tomorrow morning?
Yeah, tomorrow, okay.
And look, Bill, don't lose your cool with the guys, okay? Because they can be pretty tough.
Come in. Crowley. Sit down. I'm Lieutenant Boycine. This is Lieutenant Sullivan.
There are a number of questions we want to ask you about this homicide, but first I want to advise you of your constitutional
Why
rights.
isn't homicide handling this thing? I mean, they're not headhunters, they're street cops. They know how these things can happen.
We also know how these things happen, and we're going to get the facts before we submit our report to the chief and/or the grand jury.
Why would you submit it to the grand jury?
We may have a manslaughter. Look, Sergeant, our investigation takes precedence over any other departmental investigation, so you will cooperate to the fullest.
Yeah. Well, what if I don't feel like answering any of your questions?
Then we'll suspend you. You give us no choice. So why be foolish? Why make a tough job tougher?
Listen, Crowley, I don't think there's going to be any problem, really, regarding a criminal prosecution. But you have to satisfy the department.
I don't believe that. Isn't that one of those off-the-record remarks to get me to loosen up? I mean, what do I do now? Do I bare my soul, pour my heart out? This is on, isn't it?
Yes, it's on. You know the rules. Now, may we continue?
You know the story. I laid it all out to the homicide officers.
There are gaps in it. Too many. As an example, where is your 6'3" assailant?
You tell me where he is. You're conducting the investigation. Where is he?
The victim was 5'5" and 132 pounds and 15 years old. None of the other police personnel reported any assault, and the civilians present tell a completely different story.
Civilians?
There was no
What
6'3" man in
Wait a
that
minute.
warehouse.
Wait a minute. You talking about Bastry and the rest of that garbage? They're not civilians. They're hoods. They're criminals. This was a fence operation we busted into. It wasn't a convent.
Maybe so, Crowley, but you certainly didn't prove it. Maybe you had a legal right to bust in there, but no contraband was recovered. No crime was committed. Therefore, no arrests were made, right? So these people have to be considered as witnesses.
Witnesses?
Plain, ordinary, legitimate witnesses.
You gotta be kidding me. It was after midnight. What do you think they were doing there if they weren't waiting for a hot load?
Bastry has a lease on a place. The others say they're friends of his. I know. It's all bull. But he comes off clean on this one.
And I'm the heavy, right?
We're not here to judge you, Sergeant. We only investigate.
You're off this week. What's the matter? Haven't you got a home?
Sometimes I wonder. You know, Joe just phoned me and told me what happened. I thought maybe there was something I could do to help.
You know, like what?
I don't know. Maybe we could just talk a little bit. Something I would say would make you feel a little better.
Thanks, Pete. You just said it.
Here we are, folks. These are on Clark and Lynn. They said good luck.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it? I don't even get along with those two guys, and they're wishing me luck.
They're cops. Pretty good ones, too. They know that something like this could happen to any one of us.
Sure happening to me. By the time those 6 thieves get through testifying against me, I'll be lucky if I don't come off looking like some kind of an animal.
You reacted like anyone would. It happened, Bill. You can't change it. You can't do it over.
Of course it happened, Pap. Of course I can't change it. Jeez, it's hard enough to live with something like this without having the whole department come down on my head. Why the hell would they use a kid like that?
We have to find that man you saw. There's an awful lot of people willing to go to bat for you, Bill.
Oh, will you knock it off? Half my life was involved in this thing, and you sit there giving me platitudes. It just wasn't worth it, kid.
You stop feeling sorry for yourself. What'd you expect when you took that badge? An egg in your beer? Come on. Show 'em, Bill. Use your head, you big dumb cop. Show 'em you had a right to hit that warehouse. And where it was a terrible tragedy, it was an accident.
You're starting to sound like me.
I've been called worse. I'm gonna start behaving like you and thinking like you. Now, we're gonna have to get that guy, and there's only one way to do it. He has to be one of Bastry's people, so we move in on Bass Street.
No, my information was good. You screwed it up, not me. Now I gotta sit here for another 3 years.
Fine time to think about that.
Durgan, you help us get Bastry. You help us make a case, show that he really is a large-scale receiver. And you got the same deal you had before. Same deal.
Look, I got my information from a friend. He's like a brother. I can't involve him. Look, I promised him. I can't go back on my word.
Eddie, we have to deal with your friend directly this time. You gotta trust us. We've always been fair with you in the past. We won't be any different now. You have to give us a chance to talk to your friend.
No way.
Eddie, we won't press him, I promise you. And if he helps us, you stand a very good chance of getting out of here. And there's so much more now involved than just one good arrest.
Okay. But I sure hope that your word is better than mine.
Let's walk outside. It's a lot quieter out here. If Eddie sent you, he must think you're all right. I'll go along with it.
You two must have had quite a relationship.
Relationship. I guess you could call it that. We were partners. We still are. A lot of years behind us. We're close.
This Conrad?
That's right. If you want to talk to a saint, go to church.
Are you willing to try again?
When I spotted the meat and the switch, it was purely by accident. I followed it up because I had nothing better to do. It's like a hobby. Then we figured out how we could make it work for Eddie. But I got no beef with these guys. It's their hustle. It's none of my business.
So you've paid your debt to Eddie and now you want out, is that it?
Maybe. Just how far would you expect me to go?
You'd be helping us, too. Not just Eddie.
I only owe Eddie. But I'll make a deal with you. If I go along with this move, will you people put your weight behind Eddie's parole, win or lose?
You got it.
I pulled a hustle once in Nevada. Worked out really good. Be a hell of a move if I could make it work again. Even if it was for the heat.
I'm sorry about your nephew. But when that cop busted in, I panicked, hit him, and ran. I've never been at the spot during a delivery before. I can't afford to get busted. I'll lose my license.
And if you had been at the spot before, you'd know that the first truck is always a dummy, just in case the cops are planted on us.
Lou, I'm sorry about your nephew.
Oh, cut the garbage. I hardly knew him, and you didn't know him at all. You know, if I didn't need you for the leases on that warehouse, I'd lose you so fast for running scared.
What are we stopping for?
I've hit the TV and the radio. Let's see what the newspapers have to say.
Well, I've seen better pictures of you.
They're just not gonna let up, are they? All I get going for me is a retired con man.
Mr. Bastry, my name is Milton Brooks.
Oh, come in.
Thank you. Thank you for granting me this interview at such a trying time.
Pleasure. Sit down. I'm more than anxious to get the truth out before the police try to cover it up.
Such a nice-looking boy. What was he doing there?
He was with me.
I read that. But what was he doing there?
What are you getting at? I told you he was with me, visiting.
Mr. Bastry, I know your offense. A very good one on a fairly large scale. I commend your business abilities. I commend you also for having the ability not only to stay out of jail, but to turn the tables on the cops.
What are you, some kind of plant? You, out! Hey, what is this?
It's a business proposition, Mr. Bastry. The gun is only a pacifier while we talk business. Now, would you please sit down? Thank you. I had an operation going in San Diego. Pretty good one. Then my partner got busted and I had to pull out. But I have a huge outlet for some hot cigarettes. I understand you handle them by the truckload.
So what do you want from me?
Your street contacts, truckers that want to make a few bucks, hijackers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why don't you have me checked out, Mr. Bastry? Surely a man of your stature has people that could do that.
Sure, I can do it. But why should I?
Because we're going to make a lot of money. Together. I need those cigarettes. I would be willing to finance the first load. Why don't you have me checked out?
You'd put up 10 grand? You made your point.
My business card where you can reach me.
Drop it on the table. On your way out. Take this number down. 555-1483. Name Milton Brooks.
Yeah, well, what do you want me to do with it?
I want him checked out as an investor.
A working investor?
Could be. Could be a setup. Do something for your money for a change.
I'll have him processed for a bondsman's license. Prints and all. If he has a record, it'll show it. Let the cops do our work for us.
Clever. Sergeant Crowley. Now you're trying to kill me. Hey, would one of you people call a policeman? I want to file a report.
That was a dumb stunt, Crowley. You know, I thought you were getting a rough deal before this, and I could even understand your attitude to a point. But as of this moment, you are officially suspended as a police officer pending a Board of Rights hearing by the department.
It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's really beautiful. I'll tell you what I should have done. I should have driven that creep Bastry right into the ground.
That's exactly why we're suspending you. So you'll stay away from him.
Lieutenant, I'm a civilian now, and I'll do as I damn please.
No, you won't. You're a suspended cop, and you'll do as you're ordered.
There's been an injunction filed that prohibits you from any contact with Bastry or to present yourself in the vicinity of his residence. Now, you violate this order, Crowley, and you'll be arrested.
Now, wait a minute. You've just tried him, found him guilty, and now you're sentencing him.
He's not being suspended because of the incident with the boy, but because he won't let up on Bastry till this thing is settled. And the department can't afford any embarrassment caused by Sergeant Crowley.
Doesn't he have any rights? Nobody's let up on him the whole time since this thing happened. Criminals get tried in courts. Cops get tried in newspapers.
You might as well save your breath, Pep. I sure wouldn't want to embarrass the department.
I'll take your gun, your badge, and your ID card.
As far as I'm concerned, you're the only real cop in this room right now. You're the only one. I'll get these two.
Relax, pretty lady. I made the contact with Bastry.
Yeah?
He even had me checked out by a bail bond office. Stanley Lawrence Associates.
Who is he? What's his thing?
I don't know yet. I haven't met him face to face. He really went into my past, though. You know my record. Bastry loves me.
You think if we lean on him, we can try and get him to do something for us now?
No. If we lean on him too hard, he could back out.
Yeah, I realize that. But Crowley's on the outside looking in, and it's wiping him out.
Let me tell you something. It's not too healthy for my partner either. He's on the inside looking out.
You made your point.
Look, I'm a selfish guy. I'm not in this to be charitable to Crowley. If anything I do for Eddie helps him, good. If not...
You're an unusual crook. You're very honest.
I just wanted to set it straight. I tell you what, a couple years from now, I'll really make you happy. I'll lie to you. You're a good cop, pretty lady, but I'm a good con man, and right now, you're in my ballpark.
Yeah? So?
We wait. Meanwhile, you've got your work cut out for you. You've got to raise me a bankroll.
Oh, you were saving the goodies for the last. You are a crook.
Bastry's got no money. Put in all he had to buy this new location. He lives pretty high on the hog. He's almost broke.
That's good. He has to go back to work.
That's right. But I got in because I promised to finance this new deal. $10,000 minimum.
You sticking it to me.
Listen, you don't think I tap danced and smiled my way in, do you? I'll keep it as low as I can, but $10,000 is the minimum. You've got to have it ready.
This is the police department you're dealing with. You know what I got to go through to get that kind of money?
That's your problem. And by the way, tell your people to stay away from Bastry's apartment.
What
He's
people?
shaky. If he sees there's any trouble, he could duck out.
There's no one from our office sitting on Bastry.
There was when I was there 2 hours ago.
on the air conditioning. It's like a steam bath in here.
It's my steam bath, okay? You weren't invited.
What do you expect to accomplish hanging around here?
What am I going to accomplish hanging around my apartment?
You stick around here, you're going to do something dumb. You were set up the other day. Bastary suckered you out. The last thing you need is to get in a hassle right
Just
now.
can it, will you, Pepper? Now, can it. The last thing I need is Big Sister advice from you. I'm on my own now, Pep. I'm a plain, private, ordinary citizen.
Not quite, Bill. You are a suspended cop with a set of double standards hanging over your head.
I don't care about their rules anymore. I mean that.
I can't defend what they did to you. Even if I agreed with them, I'm too close to it. But just sitting out here is just adding to your grief. There are people who care a great deal about what happens to you, even if you don't.
Well, what I've got just might be contagious, so you better tell them not to get involved.
No, you go tell him. You go tell Joe not to walk around and throw his files across his desk. And tell Pete not to tell the lieutenant he doesn't give a damn. He's picked a fight with every superior in the building. For you. Yeah.
Rooster. We gotta change his name to Rooster.
They care, Bill. They may not know how to show it, and neither one of them is very talkative, so they don't know what to say, but they care, and you know it.
I just gotta do something, Pep.
Just wait. That's what we're doing. We're just waiting. Listen. I got a little mad money stashed away. You need any extra cash?
You went out working the streets again.
Enough for a couple of real good dinners.
Look, I know I can swing a few hundred. Maybe get everyone around here to come up with the same amount. But that'd only be a couple of thousand, the whole thing. I'd have to go all the way to the top to get $10,000.
Then go to the top, Lieutenant.
That would look like we're plotting to frame Bastary. Or at least to get even with him.
Well, if we don't get the money, we won't have to answer to anybody about what we want to do. You know, we won't even have a chance to try.
You know, that'd be leaving the department open to a lot of criticism.
I don't care. Do you really care? I'm tired of worrying about the department. It's not a human. It's a big, clumsy, insensitive thing. And Bill Crowley is a human. And doesn't the department owe him something, too? Like about 18 years of breaking his back and 24 hours a day of giving when nobody else would. You know, it's not supposed to be a one-way street. He needs some support now, and he has a right to expect it.
You know whose neck is on the line if it doesn't work, don't you? But I'll try, Pepper.
You've got to do more than that. You have to get it. Even if it doesn't work, we owe Bill the chance.
You want a guarantee?
Are you giving me one?
Okay, you got it.
The money is waiting. I'm waiting. Crowley is waiting.
There should be some action within the next week.
You sure?
I don't have a written guarantee, but that's the way it adds up. Bastry's out of cash. He needs the action.
You know how important this is. You have to be sure.
Add it up. The funeral was expensive. He wanted to make a big show. He's got that Chrome Palace he calls an apartment. He's got 2 people on his payroll. He even asked me for money for an advance on the new location.
How much?
$1,000. Why don't you start counting it out? It's worth it to know the exact location. It's berth 154, an empty terminal at the harbor.
When will you find out the time?
He has to come to me for the rest of the money. Get your people set. Be careful this time. The first truck doesn't mean anything. Let it pass. Watch out for a spotter. He's got one.
While you're here, why don't you confess your sins?
In this application, you say that the premises in question were controlled by one James Bastry and are being used as a storehouse for stolen property. On what do you base this?
Well, Your Honor, we have information from an informant who's proved to be reliable in the past.
Did you people really think that I would sign this warrant?
Why, yes, Your Honor. I can see no reason why not. I mean, it's been prepared correctly, and it, plus the facts that we presented, should more than show a legal right to obtain a warrant.
Is that your legal opinion, Lieutenant?
It's my opinion, sir, based on 24 years' experience.
Well, it's not my opinion, and I'm refusing this application.
On what basis?
Another warrant for this James Bastry at this time, in light of the publicity, would constitute poor judgment on my part and possibly harassment. I'm not about to enter into any conspiracy with the police department so that you can attempt to save the reputation of a suspended police officer. No judge will sign this warrant, and probably no other warrant for some time. And now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, cut him loose. Bruce has done it again.
Yeah, well, that's the last thing in the world I would have expected to happen. There's no legal reason why he shouldn't have signed this warrant.
We could try another judge.
Oh, come on, Pepper, you know the judge is going to sign that thing now. Bruce has put the hex on it. Look, you know these judges, they never override each other.
Talk about conspiracy.
Conspiracy's the least of my problems. You know, I signed out for $10,000 for a raid that's never going to take place. Already spent $1,000 of it. How do I account for it? What do I tell him? I backed Bastry because he was broke? Punch that thing again, will you? Judges.
Pete, I haven't helped Crowley one bit. I haven't helped anyone except Bastry. I have botched it. I've blown it, Pete. I know that. I got the lieutenant involved. Brooks is right in the middle of it. He could get himself killed. I even gave Berrigan the false hope he might get out of jail. Why do I always think I know more than everybody else?
I know what you mean. Listen, why don't you go home and get some rest, Pep? Forget about all this for a while. I'll give Bill a call and tell him what's happening. I mean, he's pretty involved in this too, you know? And since, William, you are the most devious in our select group, decided to bring the problem here.
I bet you should have brought that judge here. I'd like to get my hands on him right now.
A lot of good that'd do. You just slither through your fingers.
It's obvious. The only way to do it is to duke somebody into the operation, place one of our people on the inside, an undercover cop. Then we'll work on finding out who our 6'3" mystery man is.
I'll make it Pepper.
He knows Pepper. He knows Joe, too.
Pete.
No, he didn't know Pete. Pete was on suspension that week.
Well, there's one decision made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's easy. Now, who's going to try to sell this new deal to Brooks?
The only way we're going to pull it off now is for you to introduce an undercover man into it.
No way.
What do you think, Eddie?
I think you're a real cute broad. What am I supposed to say to him? Go do it? And maybe he gets blown away while I sit here nice and safe? Or do I say no good? And I sit here for the next 3 years. Milt has to carry that around on his back, you know, figuring that he might have been able to help me get out. Who's conning home?
I'm not sure I could pull it off, even if I wanted to.
Why? Do you think you can get away with it?
I don't know. I've been pulling a string in real slow. Maybe I could just give it a yank.
Why don't we get him greedy? Up the ante.
There's a 10G limit on the bank.
Well, then get hard with him. If he's ready to bite, pull the string. Give him rules.
What if he don't bite?
Then what do we lose? We're no better off than we were before.
Except for your 3 years and my one body.
You could pressure him from both sides of his head. More money and a new deal. Charmer, Milty. You're the best in the business.
The charm I got. But there's still a 10G limit on the bank.
You're still holding my money from the last score?
About $8 grand.
Then throw that in the pot, too.
That's all the stash you got.
Might just make the deal.
Okay. Say it's in. But that's still not enough for a top-grade truckload of goods.
Gentlemen, I have a couple $1,000s in the bank. I'll throw it in.
How can we miss? It's just like the old days. We just made a 2G score.
So it's all set for tomorrow night. I'll get you half a load of cigarettes. 11 grand. It's a good deal.
All right. I'll get my man ready.
What man? You don't need any man. I got my own people.
You gotta be kidding. I got a right to have my own man, somebody to cover my back.
I'll cover your back. I got a lookout outside. Too many people in this thing already. I don't like working with strange faces I haven't broken bread with.
He's been with me for years. He's covered my back plenty of times. I'll vouch for him. Who's gonna vouch for you?
Who's gonna vouch for me? No way, Brooks. No strangers.
Hold it, hold it. The guy is my partner. He's the money man. We need those cigarettes. How much would it cost us for the whole load?
The whole load? Oh, well, probably bring it in for 18.5.
All right. I'll take the whole load. I'll raise the money. But my man stays in.
Well, that's different. We can use him for the extra unloading.
Look about 6'3" to you.
Sure does.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, Pete.
Pigeons have arrived. You spotted the lookout?
Yeah. And I think it's our boy.
Any problems?
No problems. We left the driver tied up on the side of the highway. A couple of hours before he could call the cops.
How many?
50,000 cartons.
Get the offload truck in here. Tell them we're ready. Open it up.
Could I take a look at the merchandise?
It's all here. Satisfied? The money. Hurry up, I got a date.
You don't have to count it. It's all there, every nickel.
Put it in a safe place. I don't want it around here.
I think we better start loading up the truck.
Mr. Bastry, it's a pleasure doing business with you.
Anytime.
Hey, you guys want to give me a little muscle?
Police officers, nobody move. Take him. I sent in the black and whites, code 3.
You set me up. Why? Because, Mr. Bastry, you're going to take my partner's place in jail.
There's an army of cops.
We're on our way. You better split two.
No, this way, this way.
What are you doing here, Crowley? You just couldn't stay out of it, could you?
Who's this one? Any good street cop should be able to figure that out. This was a guy came at me in the warehouse that night. Big guy, 6'3". Isn't that right?
Look, it was an accident. I was scared, man. I was scared.
You got any more questions?
Yeah, I got one. What's wrong with him?
I think he's got a bellyache.
Up, Puck!
Yeah, then we're taking that. Right.
Okay, fellas, fresh from the delicatessen. Yeah, oh, here you go. Dig in.
Little something for you.
What's this?
That's your $2,000. I gave them a packed roll, but I didn't want to rip you off.
How much did you beat him for? Tell him about the one that got away.
Hey, who likes turkey?
I'm going to lay a little truth on you, Pep. A few days ago, I killed a 15-year-old kid, and that seemed pretty tragic to me at the time. But it wasn't long till I forgot about him. It seemed even more tragic that my career was sliding down the drain. I mean, they actually took my little badge away from me. I got very caught up in survival. Now, with everybody's help, I got my little badge back. And everything's okay. They say everything's the same. But it's not, Pepper. And it will never be again.
Stabbed 6 times, twice in the heart.
The neighbors, nobody saw anything.
I live here, remember? You and your wife live 2 doors down.
Well, as long as I'm here.
That could be the start of some new pattern. There's someone out there all wrapped up in hate.
Yes, for police women. In case you forget, that's what I am. I'm a cop. Drum roll. Whoa!
You shouldn't have.
Shouldn't have. That's exactly what she asked me to bring her. Okay. Now, Sarah, for when we were bunkies together, because you never had any cologne of your own.
I was always running out because you always kept ripping me off.
Ooh.
Noche de luna. Night of the moon.
Well, don't wear it when any loonies around. Okay?
The way things have been going these days, I'll settle for one of those.
Hey, Liz, welcome back. How was your trip?
Deborah. Oh, wonderful.
Oh, listen, for all of you police persons who haven't met Irene Boyer, this is Irene Boyer.
Hi, Irene.
She's new. Stolen property. Lots of luck.
Oh, Pepper. Perfect timing.
Oh. There. Thank you.
Oh, Lay.
Hold it down in here. Sounds like a hen party.
Hey.
Welcome back. Oh.
Hey, get out of here, man. This is our oasis.
Where do I get my enchilada? I didn't get one postcard from you.
William, the cruise was only for 7 days. Besides, you just moved and I lost my address book.
That's a likely story.
But I think this should appease you.
Mexican Johnny Beans, right?
No, it's not. Swiss.
Let me see.
It cost a lot of pesetas, so I want you to wear it.
Look at that.
Oh, Liz.
Wow.
Hey, it's only for very special occasions, okay? So don't wear it all the time. You don't want to
Are
hurt
you
it.
kidding? This is my everyday watch. Put that right on.
Oh! Ow!
This means we're engaged, right?
Only during office hours. Oh, how's Honey Bunch? Oh, you were such a sweetheart for taking care
I
of
tell
him.
you, I give you a little clue about Honey Bunch. He's not sleeping on my bed, and I'm curled up on the newspapers in the corner. It's a dumb name for a dog. I get it. If you don't think I feel silly going out in the back yelling, "Come on, Honey Bunch, here, Honey Bunch."
Crowley, the way I hear it, you gave Liz the dog and you named it.
Is that what you hear? Listen, you stick around and let them work. I take you over to Vinny's and buy you the biggest steak in the house. So let's stop over to my place and pick up Honey Bunch. It's a silly name for a dog.
Now does it make any sense?
Well,
which means not really, but it will later. Right?
Pepper, I'm not exactly a nosy type, but...
Be nosy, you're a cop.
Well, back in there, Liz Robeson and Sergeant Crowley, well, I was wondering, is there some sort of thing between them?
Yeah, they love each other. See, about, must be 12 years now. Crowley and Liz's brother were partners in Ad Norm. And they were working a case, closing in on a dealer. The dealer was armed, was about to take a shot at Bill when Robeson rushed him, and he got the bullet instead. And it killed him. So now Liz is a cop, and Crowley is like a big brother to her. That's the thing between them.
When'd you get back, Liz?
Oh, well, the ship docked about noon. So I went home and I took a nap, which I needed desperately. Then I just came right down here to see you guys.
Hope you had a nice time, did you?
Oh, excellent.
What are you thinking about?
Just wondering.
What are you wondering?
You're sure this is your treat?
Sure, why would you ask a dumb question like that? Listen, even though I said steak, I just gotta tell you, I hear that Vinny has a new sandwich. Tuna and pimento loaf. That's just, no, but have the steak.
If you
have
help
the steak. Have the steak. Sarah,
Oh,
did you get the message?
yeah, Bill, thanks. I'd love to join you, but I've got to show these to Hopkins.
You're not going with us?
No, I'm sorry. I've worked on 6 unfit mother cases today. 6, and I'm
Okay.
just too pooped.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
See you next time.
all right?
Okay,
Bye-bye. Pep?
Thank you.
My cabin mate was this lady named Ms. Nimrova.
Your cabin mate was named Ms. Nimrova?
Mm-hmm. When I first met her, I thought, my Lord, how am I going to live with all this smoke?
Lots of cigarettes, huh?
No. It's even worse.
No. Cigars?
No. She smoked a pipe, Pepper.
A pipe? Is she
You're
smoking in the
kidding.
cabin?
Sure it was Ms. Nimrova?
No doubt.
I mean, from what I hear, these cruises really swing.
He walked up to me and said to me, "What line of work are you in, Miss Robeson?" And I said, "I'm in vice, sir."
Then he wasn't so bored anymore.
Yeah, I was sitting at the captain's table next night. The champagne just flowed.
Bill, when can I get 7 days off to just take a dinghy to Catalina?
You gotta be dingy to ask a question like that.
Stabbed 6 times, twice in the heart.
The neighbors, nobody saw anything.
No,
No fingerprints.
nothing except the dead policewoman. And maybe this. Hoyt Wiley. You know the name.
Sure, Arizona City. Wanted for killing a couple of policewomen there a few months ago, right?
Wanted, never caught. It's the same MO. Bedroom, Dark, gloves, 6 knife wounds, no sexual attack, no apparent motive.
Just insane.
Just insane. But maybe Wiley decided to come to the West Coast. He was reported in Portland and Spokane. Maybe he's down here now.
Captain, we won't in on this, all right?
Franklin and his men will continue on the Wiley end. That's the only possibility we have. I want you to talk to Liz Robeson. She and Rossi were roommates. Find out everything she knows.
She's waiting in my office right now, Captain. She wants in on this, too.
It was 6 weeks ago that she'd found this house, a rental. She said it was about time that we each had a place of our own. I think she just wanted to do something extravagant with her rave.
Is that when she moved?
Yeah.
Liz? How long did the two of you share the house?
2 years.
Liz, in that time, were there any men who she knew, dated, that might have been a problem? Something personal?
Sarah didn't go out.
Never?
With guys from the academy. When you're in juvenile, your job is your life. You deal with the kids and the parents, or you're always trying to solve some heavy situation.
Were any of those situations especially heavy recently?
Maybe one.
When was this?
About 6 months ago.
What was that, honey?
There was a drunk who had been accused of abusing his children, and he put 2 babies in the hospital. His wife was too scared to testify, and Sarah had finally convinced her to file for divorce.
Did the guy know that Sarah convinced her?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how he got her number, but he did. He started calling Sarah and saying that she had ruined his life. And threatening her.
Well, didn't she report it?
Well, I think she was going to, but then the call stopped.
Liz, do you know his name?
No. But I bet if I looked in her files, I'd find a name.
Come on, I'll help you.
Thank you. So once in a while, Sarah and I would, we'd have a beer and we'd stay up late at night and we'd talk. And one night after we'd seen this movie with a lot of really great-looking people in it, Sarah said, I am plain. I was born plain. And if I could have one wish, I wish I could be pretty for one day. No, make that a one weekend. She didn't know how beautiful she was.
That'll be $2.25. She's Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello?
Hi, may I help
Colleen
you?
Hawkins. I'm Sergeant Crowley. This is Sergeant Anderson. The police department. I'd like to talk to you.
Whatever this is about, can we talk later? I'm real busy.
So are we.
Look, I'm very sorry about that girl. I heard about it on the radio, and I went to church, and I lit a candle for her. But I don't know anything about how she died.
Was murdered. You're married to Sam Hawkins, right?
Was.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to locate him.
Well, you're cops. That shouldn't be hard.
We haven't been able to find him.
Well, that's your problem. Look, I have customers, and my boss is giving me some cockeyed looks.
Why don't we let the boss handle that? I'm sure.
And blow my job, that's all I need.
Mrs. Hawkins, a 23-year-old policewoman named Sarah Rossi is dead.
I know that. And I said it. I'm sick about that. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. Talking me into getting rid of that bum. But I can't help you.
He put 2 of your children in the hospital, one with a concussion, one with 3 fractured ribs, right?
Colleen, where is he?
I don't know.
Have you seen him recently?
About 3 weeks ago.
You want to tell us where?
He came by the house one night to ask for some money, obviously for booze. I gave it to him and he left.
Do you know where he's living now?
Somewhere in Rosella, a rooming house or an apartment. I don't know.
Thank you.
Bill? Hey, Bill, you anything about Hoyt Wiley yet?
Yeah, so far he's been spotted twice. First time he turned out to be a local minister. Second time he was an engineer who just flown in for a month in Japan. Here's Hawkins' mugshot. Let's get busy on him.
This guy Hawkins, we'll start checking the Rosella area, huh?
Yeah, concentrate especially on the bars.
All right.
Bill, let's visit Jim's grave.
Sure, honey. Yeah.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, honey.
Anything?
A couple of love letters from upstairs.
Oh, yeah, I read the one about the policewomen protecting themselves, etc.
Yeah, well, that's the one with the et ceteras. Read the one with the damage.
To all division heads, we're being besieged by the public, the press, not to mention the commissioner. Nearly a week's gone by, damn it. And we haven't come up with a thing on the S. Rossi case. S. Rossi? By the end of the month, it's going to be Sarah who? The Hawkins suspect is obviously not in the Rosella area. 7 phone calls today alone and the alleged local whereabouts of subject Hoyt Wiley have all turned out to be dead ends.
Excuse me, communications just heard from Pete and Joe. They got a tip on Hawkins. He's been spotted in a bar near the harbor.
Hallelujah.
Joe. Hawkins, come here. We just want to talk with you. Hold it. Please,
That's right. Come on.
All right, off the car. Come on.
Come on. Come on down. Come on down. Come on.
All right, come on. Put him in the car. Stretch him out.
What are you talking about, phoned her? I never phoned her.
You sure about that, Hawkins? Huh? You sure you didn't phone up Sarah Rossi and threaten her? Absolutely positive, huh?
Please listen. I told you.
Suppose we tell you. Suppose we tell you that there was another policewoman listening in on the extension to your conversation, and she can identify your voice.
Okay. But I never threatened her.
Oh, come on, Hawkins. That's just not the way we heard it.
I just said to her that they were my kids, my family. And she should have minded her own damn business. I didn't like her. I even hated her, okay?
Did you hate her enough to kill her?
I didn't kill her. I didn't even threaten her.
Why'd you try to run? 2 police officers called out to you. You took them for quite a ride.
I didn't know they were the heat. I thought, well, I owe some money. I thought they were trying to collect.
Where were you last Friday night, Hawkins?
It's 1,000 years ago.
Well, think back 1,000 years. Where were you?
I must have been with a friend. Girl I knew.
What was her name?
Rose.
Rose who?
Brarely. B-R-E-A-R-L-Y.
Who is she?
She ain't no nun.
Rose? I got 2 of them lived here. Real flowers, both of them.
Rose Brarely.
Yeah, she's the one who moved out.
When?
3 days ago.
Do you know where?
Where? Lady, her rent was paid up. I couldn't care less where.
Tell me something. Was she here last Friday night?
I guess so.
With somebody?
Well, let's put it this way. If she wasn't upstairs with one of her tricks, I'm Princess Grace.
Do you happen to know with whom?
No, I don't. Look, I rent out rooms with kitchenettes. I try to keep the halls clean. I wash off any filthy language from the walls as soon as I see it. That garden out there, that tacky garden, I try to keep it from looking double tacky. All of which puts me into bed at about 10 o'clock, and which means that I couldn't keep up with the traffic around here if I wanted to.
You behave yourself.
Bill, any luck?
Oh.
No. What's with Hawkins?
Well, they let him go.
Oh, no.
The polygraph proved inconclusive. And the public defender, Chopper, he came stomping in.
Yeah, you said it all, Pete. Chopper. Hoyt Wiley, has he been seen again?
Not in the last half hour.
Anything from Liz?
Nothing yet.
Shove up. I'm waiting for someone.
You want to see me?
Hello, Francine.
I've been out of town a couple days. My sister's real sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Plane fare cost me plenty.
How much?
$300.
That's awful high, Francine.
You paid it before.
Rose Brarely. Do you know her?
Oh, she's an acquaintance.
Yeah. We're looking for her hard.
How hard, Liz?
$300.
Oh, there was an extra 50 for the cab fare, so tips. No.
Do you know where she is?
How about it?
$350. You'll have it tomorrow.
She went back to her pimp. Dude named Ossie Dalton. You know him?
No. Where's his place?
Chelsea Street. The apartment house on the corner. Okay?
Thank you. Give my best to your sister.
She's feeling better already.
Yeah.
You Rose Burley? I mean, he said you were something, but he didn't prepare me for all this.
Who said that?
Ossie. Ossie Dalton? Oh, maybe I'm in the wrong place.
No, you're in the right place, Hanson. Come on in.
Listen, on second thought, Rose, why don't you just come along with me? Let's slip into a fishnet, honey, and let's move it.
Hey, Liz, your Ho Chi Minh's getting cold. Not to mention your butterfly shrimp.
I'm not hungry. It's been such a week.
Yeah, it's on you.
I'm glad it's over, but I'm not hungry.
Not hungry? Well, then maybe you don't mind if we help you out a bit, do you?
No.
Did the Burley girl roll over on Hawkins?
No, because she was with Hawkins.
What?
That's right. They spent the evening together. She said he drank too much, conked out, hit the sack. Then two of her girlfriends came over and they played cards the rest of the night. He was there in plain sight.
We checked them both out separately. It's true.
And that leaves us with Hoyt Wiley as our only suspect.
Hoyt Wiley. We just got word they picked him up an hour ago and they're flying him back to Arizona City. He's been holed up in Ohio for 2 months.
Just isn't our day, is it?
Honey Bunch. Over here, Honey Bunch. Let's eat. Come on. Poor baby's getting so old she can hardly see.
Yeah, but she can still eat. Look at her go.
I tell you something, she wouldn't do that for me. I'd hand feed her.
Okay, well, let's see what we have for us.
Are you inviting us to dinner?
Hey, according to my watch, I'd say it's about time we went out and had a bite to eat someplace. What do you say to Mazzarino's, little veal picante?
Well, I've got to walk Honey Bunch later, and I think it's going to be raining. Bill, I'm really frustrated. I couldn't smile at a waiter to save my life.
Could you smile at me?
Oh, you too.
Let me see what I have here.
Why don't I make the salad? Tell her what a good salad I
She
make.
makes a great salad.
I bet.
You got any cucumbers? She's great with cucumbers.
Yes, and carrots.
Wait a
Yeah, give me the carrots.
Bear? Tell you what, right after dinner, why don't we take Honey Bunch for a walk? And we'll pack you off with peppers for the night, okay?
What? Yeah, we talked about it, and I think Bill's right. Wiley's locked up, Hawkins is out of the picture, and Sarah's murder, well, that could be the start of some new pattern. There's someone out there all wrapped up in hate.
Yes, for police women. In case you forget, that's what I am. I'm a cop. I have a gun, I know how to use it, and this place has more locks than San Quentin.
Yeah, well, I'd like it if you'd spend the night at Pep's.
I've got sole, crab au gratin, lasagna, lasagna.
Listen, do you have any lasagna?
I'll look.
It's me.
Jeremy.
Mr. Jenkins.
Jeremy Jenkins, at your service, Sergeant. What are you doing here?
I live here, remember? You and your wife live 2 doors down.
Well, as long as I'm here.
It's late, Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Mike Besser. Dr. Mike Besser. Nurses Station.
Sergeant Crowley.
Dr. Crowley. I'm Dr. Lieberman.
Is she still alive?
Yeah? Thanks to the neighbor who found her and called us.
She's gonna make it.
Well, we're trying. Can't be sure about that. She's in intensive care.
I want to see her.
Sergeant, only family is allowed in there.
It's okay, I'm her family.
We'll stay only a few minutes.
Dr. Robert Crowell. Please report to 6th floor nurse station.
Joe?
Yeah, Pep, we just talked to a neighbor named Volpe. Lives next door to Liz.
What's he got?
Well, he said something about the storm kept him awake last night. He thought he heard shots. So he went to the window, saw a male Caucasian run to a car, get in it, and drive off. Late model Pinto, dark color. But he was able to get the first 3 numbers of the license, 746.
746. You checked with DMV?
They traced it to a rental company, name of Big Val. But you know, they have 7 outlets. So we rounded up the general manager. He says he thinks it's his place in Brandon.
Oh. I think this may be what you're looking for, Sergeant. It's our only 746.
Is the car here?
No. The client returned it about an hour ago. Then his father and his son came in. They were going to Tahoe or something, and they just rented it and drove it off. They didn't even.
You mean the car's not here?
No.
This is Frank Navarre. Is he the one that turned it in?
Yes, and out of towner from New Orleans. Their license plate.
He rented it, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Had he ever been in before?
Yes. A week ago yesterday. A different car, same customer.
What did he look like?
Look like? Oh, he was very ordinary looking, in his 30s, 34, 33, maybe a little bit younger.
Tall or short? What?
Medium. I'd have to say medium. Maybe a little taller than medium.
Pep, look at this. Navarre. Today Sunday with 1 hour, last week with 2.
Oh, let's move on that.
Miss, you want to go down to headquarters with us, please?
Oh, look, if this is just about a stolen license or something,
It's more than just a stolen license, believe me.
Well, but I'm alone here.
I understand. You want to call your boss and tell him you're closing up for a while? Just tell him 2 cops want you to go down and look at some pictures, okay? Thanks very much.
using any of these men.
Okay, let's try this one. Please, just take your time. Just keep looking, all right? Yeah.
I got that New Orleans number. Talked to an old woman. She could hardly speak English, and you know my French. All I could gather was that this Navarre was at work and wouldn't be home till tonight.
Nothing yet, huh?
No. Sergeant Crowley's office. Yes? Yes. I see.
Dr. Mansfield. Dr. Mansfield. Report to X-ray.
Sorry, we did everything we could. She died just a few minutes ago.
Dr. Eman, report to the resident doctor.
Landlady said her husband took the dog to the park. They won't be gone long. You want to drive over?
No, why don't we just wait?
This was left with the landlady for Liz and the ship's photographer. Dear Liz, we pulled in yesterday after another mad, gay 7 days. Sorry you weren't home, but I thought I'd drop these off rather than mail them. You know that service, Jim. P.S. I'll try to phone you for a quick hello before we sail again tonight. Do you want to see him?
She really had a nice time, didn't she?
Looks that way. Bill? I know hunches are just that. Hunches.
I'm sorry, Pat. What'd you say?
I have a hunch. Frank Navarre, that stolen driver's license. Suppose, I mean, just maybe, it was stolen from him aboard a ship. He might have been a passenger on the same ship as Liz. We could check that out. And do you remember the day Liz got back last week? She told you she had lost her address book. I thought she was just putting you on, but what if she didn't lose it? You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, go ahead.
What if, let's say, what if somebody lifted it from her purse or it was taken from her cabin? I mean, it was filled with addresses, like Sarah's. Sarah Rossi was murdered exactly 1 week ago, the night the ship got in. What I'm trying to get at is, what if the killer worked on the ship and murdered Sarah, using the same MO as Wiley to throw us off. I mean, Wiley's case was written up in the papers for weeks, for months.
But he was really after Liz. Is that what you mean?
Possible.
Pepper, what's the name of that steamship line?
Shelley. L-L-E-Y.
Remember the name of that funny lady she said was her cabin mate? The one who smoked the pipe? Remember her name? Mrs. Nimmerover, if our theory's right, could you tell us if there might have been somebody on board ship, maybe even a crewman?
Who wanted to kill her? Oh, no, he'd have to be demented, a totally deranged mind. No, they were all so fond of her. And aside from her being so pretty, she was just herself. Elizabeth. Oh. Oh, no, I couldn't.
What is that, Mrs. Nimmerover?
No, it would be an accusation that I couldn't be certain of, so it would be unjust, wrong. My conscience, I wouldn't.
Would you, please?
Well, Elizabeth and I, we ate together at the same table with another couple, the Mazes from San Diego. Oh, sweet people. And they assigned us a waiter, a young man by the name of Albert. Al. And he was obviously very attracted to Elizabeth. And how did... Oh, he wanted to... How do they say it these days? Wanted to come on with her? Pleasantly, but persistently. Of course, at first it maybe flattered her. But then it began to bother her. And she began to talk to me about him. And about how... she'd be dancing with someone, and he'd be there off in the corner of a lounge just watching her. And I told her, I said, Elizabeth, dear, now, you shouldn't let that bother you. He's just lonely and a little lovesick. But now, this is the picture that I took at the captain's gala. Oh, now there's Elizabeth, and here are the Mazes, and there's he, the waiter, Al.
Joe, check that out.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah. Albert Mead, this is it.
This is address book. Say this man's not yet on board?
No, Sergeant, but the crew's due back within the hour.
Let's get those black and whites off the dock. The rest of them in the port. Two guys down there. Hey, Pete. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, William.
Let's get all these uniformed officers out of sight. We don't want this guy making us first.
Right. Let's go.
That's him.
Come on. Hey. It ain't worth it, man.
Yeah, baby.
I'm gonna have a brandy. You want one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Here you go.
Thanks.
It was good seeing all those people, huh? A lot of people loved her. Bill, Liz used to ask your advice on a lot of things. She asked you if you thought she'd make a good cop, and you told her yes. And that was the right answer because that's what she wanted. I hope you know you did the right thing. Do you know you did?
Hey, honey bunch. Dumb name for a dog.
can you tell us about the people he worked with?
Dad called him the mongoose.
The mongoose?
And you gotta know that he's working with somebody right inside your own department.
Conspiracy to commit gambling.
I got a 14-year-old kid out there looking for his father's killer.
Jack, you gotta slow down.
Pepper.
Hey, Lee.
Bill.
Gee, been a little while, huh?
It's good of you to come.
Gee.
You come without asking what it is I want. You are good friends. Chin? Yet go Chashuman.
You know, Lee, I think Crowley would use any excuse to come in here for your pork fried noodles.
That's what I ordered.
Oh, I think he's part Chinese.
Lee, you got a problem, right?
I need some help. My grandson. He's 17. Been gone 3 months now.
3 months? Well, why did you wait till now to call us?
Because it's a family problem. But after 3 long months, I call you now. His mother, she's very sick, and I'm worried.
You've not heard a word from him for 3 months, huh?
No.
What's his name, Lee?
Harriam Kwan. Nothing to be alarmed about. It's to be expected.
Gambling?
It'll be all right. You know, my people, they gamble in the back. And the police, they do their job.
It's perfect at 10. We're on the way to the station with 14 suspects. All right, let's move out.
Hey, listen, I sure hope you don't do anything to the cooks back there, because I got an order of pork fried noodles working.
Crowley, how are you?
Good, how are you?
How's it going, Wagner?
Hey, Pepper. Well, what is the first team doing in these back alleys? Surely it can't be the fine cuisine in this dump.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, it must be pretty slow down there, huh? You guys got nothing to do except hassle old men?
Oh, now, wait a minute. This is a commercial operation. Advice gets a lot of heat if we don't take these games. Besides, it's not that easy. So what are you doing here?
Mr. Kwan's grandson is missing. He was just telling us about it.
Well, he'll turn up. Probably running with one of the gangs. These people have really gotten out of hand. No offense.
You're all loaded up now. What about this guy?
Yeah, book him. Like I said, it's not that easy. See, that guy, he's a lookout. Anybody suspicious comes in here, he pushes a button behind that counter, and bingo, the game is over.
And by the time you get in the back, it's chess and checkers and chopsticks, huh?
Right.
Councilman? All right. Everyone well?
Yeah. All right, hold it up a minute. Mr. McCormick here would like to say a few words. Councilman.
Thank you. Now, you all know how I feel about organized gambling in this city. Not only is it illegal, but it also breeds other forms of crime.
Politician.
Prostitution, corruption. And then again, you all know this. So let me just say that I stopped by to say, keep up the good work. The very good work. Thank you. Your lieutenant explained to me about how you took the lookout. I'd call that good old police technique, Sarge.
McCormick, why don't you can all that crud you dished out in there and save it till next year when you run for re-election?
Did you have any problems? Fine.
You sure you got him?
The tickets? I got them. Now, hot dog, about our bet. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the Rams at 3.
I got the Rams, but with 7.
7? The spread is 3. What are you trying to do, hustle me? All right, you bandit. You got 7. Now let's get going before we miss the kickoff.
Dad? Thanks.
Why? I still got a good bet with 7.
I mean, thanks for giving up your golf today. I know about the tournament. Mr. Bain called while you were in the shower.
Well, I'll tell you something, bandit. Something dumb. But I'd rather spend Sunday with you than play golf in the Masters. Now let's get... Wait a minute, where's the radio? Go get the radio. Man.
Excitement of the big game, an afternoon that was made to order and a huge sellout crowd. You know, fans, both teams come in today with winning streaks, and the survivor will take that giant stride toward the championship.
Hey, Paul. Glad communication got a hold of you two. Some mess, huh?
Anybody in that thing?
Curtis Forrester.
The reporter?
Right.
You got any suspects?
We just got started. That's his kid over there. He was standing near the house when it happened.
The kid saw it happen?
Yeah. I need someone to question him and then transport him over to Barton Hall.
Barton Hall? Paul, are you crazy? You can't let a kid go through an experience like this and then dump him at Barton Hall. What are you thinking about?
That's terrible.
What about his family? Has he got any relatives?
That's the problem. There is no one. His mother died 2 years ago. We've already contacted probation. He's got to go to Barton Hall until they can line up a foster place, home.
So meanwhile, we just question the kid, then dump him at the hall, is that it?
Paul, can't you just turn him over to juvenile?
Pepper, what I need is a woman's touch. You're the only female investigator that's not tied up today. Juvenile's got no one available. I'd like to help the kid, Pep, but his old man was a reporter. He might have been onto something big. You're it, and that's all there is to it.
All right. We'll question him, but we're not going to dump him off at that place like a piece of baggage. Want to talk?
This is it?
Yes, it is.
Bill, where are we going?
Not here.
Probation know he's here. I mean, the boy's been through hell. It could be weeks before he's able to open up to anybody. You know, it's just going to take a while for him to face what's happened.
You should take this in and talk to him.
The department is going to come down in the middle of your back for hiding him here, and you forget it's not our case. It's homicides. How quickly you forget.
Go in and talk to him. Here.
Do you like some hot chocolate? Jeff, we need your help to find out whoever is responsible for your father's death. We know how terrible you feel and how much he meant to you, but we need your help. Jeff?
Yeah, I found some marshmallows.
Oh.
Want one?
Yeah, I I like to watch him melt.
What about you, Jeff? Jeff, we think your dad was mixed up in something pretty big. You have any idea what it could have been? I mean, I really want to catch the guy that did that to your dad. And I promise you something, I will. But I can't do it by myself. We need your help, Jeff. Will you help us?
I'll help you. I want to help you.
Son, do you know what your dad was working on? What kind of a story?
No. He didn't talk about it much. He used to talk with Mom, but...
It's okay, Jim. It's okay. Can you tell us about the people he worked with?
You mean on his own?
Yeah.
He had an informant. He used to talk with him on the telephone. They used to meet all the time.
Do you know his name, where he lived, anything like that?
No. Dad called him the Mongoose.
The Mongoose?
He asleep?
Yeah.
Nice kid.
He's a good kid, isn't he?
Did you ever turn the heat on in this place?
You cold?
Yeah, I'm always cold.
I'll get you some hot coffee.
You know something?
What?
I saw a side of you I never noticed before tonight.
Oh, like what? Like I make cold coffee?
No, that you'd make a good father.
Yeah?
Yeah. Jeff got a lot of strength from you.
Do you know what time it is?
Hmm.
I can't make it. I want to go to bed.
I haven't finished this.
Well, I'm going to give you the keys to the car. Pick us up in the morning, okay?
You got an extra bathrobe? I love to sleep in men's bathrobes. Yes?
I'm from the probation department. Sergeant Crowley?
No, Sergeant Pepper Anderson.
I'm Mary Snyder, juvenile probation officer. I've come for the boy. You realize you were supposed to transport him to Barton Hall last night. The boy is here.
Yes, he is here. I made some coffee. Why don't you...
You don't have to explain your behavior to me, Sergeant. This is a juvenile court order for the return of Jeffrey Forrester.
The
Pep, how about...
Bill, this is Mary
Snyder. I'm with probation. I've explained to your friend why I'm here.
The boy's asleep.
Would you please wake him?
Look, we've just begun to get through to him about his father. If you would try to understand.
I'm afraid I do. You see, I have to make a complete report about all this. My only concern is the well-being of the child.
This Miss Snyder and that Jeff's gonna try to find you a really good temporary home. But things are gonna work out, okay? Let me tell you something. I give you my word. We're gonna catch him.
Sergeant Crowley, I just want you to know that my dad was a good reporter because he could relate to people. He could put himself in their shoes, take on their problems. My mom told me that once. She was right. I just wanted to thank you and Sergeant Anderson, for being like him and being with me last night.
Where is Jeff? I called everywhere.
He's with the probation department. They're trying to find him a suitable home.
A suitable home?
That's right, sir.
Mrs. Longley, find out who the chief probation officer is and get him on the line. I thought a Lieutenant Salvino of homicide was assigned this case.
That's right. He is. We're assisting him. Mr. Bain, could you tell us what Forrester was working on? What stories?
He was working on several assignments.
Like what?
Consumer fraud, a profile on bank robbers.
Yeah? What else?
Corruption in city government.
Involving who?
I don't know. Kurt was the best guy here, and you people know it. And when he was on standard assignments, he touched base with me. But when he was into something big, he'd go full bore and alone till he had his facts.
Which of these would you consider routine?
Consumer fraud.
Who's the mongoose?
What?
Jeff mentioned that his father was working with somebody called the mongoose. Who is that, Mr. Bain?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Now, if you do, this is hardly the time to remind us of freedom of the press.
Sergeant Anderson, Kurt was more than just an employee here. He was a close personal friend. And this paper would go to any extreme to find his killer.
Then why did you look away when we mentioned the mongoose?
Well, this mongoose, as Kurt chose to call him, was just a faceless name to me, to all of us here. We don't know who he is.
Then how did they communicate?
Well, this mongoose would call and set up appointments, that much I do know.
Mongoose always phoned Forrester?
Right. And then they'd obviously meet and, Oh, yes, put him on. Mr. Olin? Yes, I'm calling about Jeff Forrester. When? Keep me posted. If there's anything this paper can do, call me. Jeff's run away.
Crowley, what in the hell are you up to?
Oh, I'm just screwing around here, Captain, tightening up the pencil sharpener.
Don't get cute with me. That boy, you took him to your apartment, didn't you? Sid of Barton Hall, you and your partner.
Which partner? I'm kind of heavy on partners.
I said don't get cute.
Yeah, well, Captain, let me tell you something. Now, what I do in my off-duty hours is my business. You got no right to even question about my personal life.
When you violate the rules and subject the department to outside criticism and interfere with an important investigation, I've got every right. Now, Crowley, I'm telling you, you take those files back to homicide, give them to Salvino, and you get out of this. And stay out of Chinatown. You could have lost up that raid, too.
What do you guys have? Would you steal his holster or something?
Hey, what's the matter?
Bet I know what that was all about. Guess I should have gone home.
I thought it was legal between consenting adults.
Me too. What's the matter? You guys got nothing to do? Joe, take this file down to Salvino. No, both of you. Get over to Juvenile and see if you can help him locate that kid.
Park say we were in on this?
Nope.
I need some help, Mr. Bain.
Jeff, where are you?
My dad worked with someone called the Mongoose. I want to meet him. I need his telephone number so that I can...
Jeff, listen. The police will find him. You stay right where you are, and I'll send someone to pick you up. Now, give me your location.
I can't, Mr. Bain. Now, will you give me the number, please?
I don't have it, Jeff. Now, where are you?
Well, I'm not in any home, I'll tell you that.
All right, Morris, how about it?
Look, Bill, like I told you before, you don't give me the court order, I cannot give you the tolls. Now, I'm sorry, but that's company
Morris,
policy.
like I told you before, Pepper is with the judge right now. She'll be here any minute.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, hell, I got a 14-year-old kid out there looking for his father's killer. I want Forrester's tolls, Morris, and I want them now.
Bill, please, sit down, relax, huh?
You talk about your red tape. What'd you do, stop for lunch?
No, but the judge did.
All right, let's go, Morris. Read it later, will you?
Listen, if you want all the subscriber information here, it's going to take a while.
We'll wait.
This is the weakest sex.
He's got to be one of these 6 phone numbers.
We'll try him. First, I want to check that house, in case Jeff might be there.
You know, you're sticking your neck way out in this one. Why? Homicidal. Look at that. That's Forrester's house. 12Y50, requesting fire units to 1338 Sunshine Terrace.
There's a van pulling out. Let's get it.
12Y50, 12Y50, requesting a clear frequency. We're in pursuit of a possible arson suspect from 1338 Sunshine Terrace. You got that?
Roger.
Take it a little easy, huh, Bill? 12Y50, suspect's vehicle is a 68 Ford van, light blue, license number, can you see it, Bill?
143.
License number 143.
Peter Charlie Edward.
Peter Charlie Edward. You're wild, Bill, today. Come on, take it easy. You gotta slow down. You gotta slow down. Somebody will let the other ones catch him.
Lose him.
Y50 requesting a traffic unit. We had a little accident. Crowley was driving, of course. We're at the end of Sunshine Terrace in a ravine. Would you believe it? Suspect last seen heading westbound on Trent. You gotta change your driving habits.
Get out of the car.
Michael said it was definitely arson.
Yeah.
Quote, we could have parked a rig right on top of this place and it still would have burned to the ground. End of quote.
Who'd the van finally come back to?
Joe's running it now.
Bill.
What?
Hey, you turkeys. I thought you ordered off this case.
That's right.
Yeah,
Listen,
we were
why don't you
close
tell
by,
your
so
boss-
I asked Bill to swing by and check, okay?
Well, okay. But the old man's on his way, and I'd clear out if I were you.
Hey, Bill. That van was stolen out of Las Vegas. Radio car just located it 6 blocks west of here.
What about the driver?
No luck, but they recovered 2 empty gas cans.
They called Prince?
They're en route.
What else can happen to this kid? Yeah, okay. That's fine.
We got the toll calls.
Good, that was Bain. Jeff called.
Where is he?
He doesn't know. The kid's out there looking for the mongoose. Let's start making his calls.
I'd like to speak to the mongoose, please.
Right, the mongoose. No, I'm not kidding. Yeah, well, you do the same, pal.
Yeah.
Mongoose?
Who's this?
Police officer, I want to talk to you.
Man, you gotta be crazy. I can't meet you. I'm being watched.
Okay, then I'll come meet you.
You know where I live?
Look, buddy, I told you I'm a cop. I've already run your number. Sure, I know where you live.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, but not here, you know, synagogue at 8th and Oxwood. Tonight, 7 o'clock. Yeah, and be alone.
You, Jerome?
How did you know? What? The telephone company, huh? It's all right. That ain't my real name anyway. Forrester picked that one out. The real Jerome Stallings, was killed. Traffic accident.
And you're who?
Mongoose. That's enough, Mongoose.
What was Forrester into?
Man, for all I know, man, you got to be a part of the whole thing.
Part of what whole thing?
Corruption. That's what Forrester called it. That's all I know.
Look, pal, now you get to the bottom line, or we're gonna go down to the station, print you, and then we'll find out just who you really are. You get my message?
Right. John McCormick, your esteemed councilman, he's in debt. He's a big loser. Some local bookies, some that ain't so local.
And what?
And he's getting paid off. A big gambling syndicate to keep the heat off of Chinatown. It's a Chinese syndicate. And you gotta know that he's working with somebody right inside your own department.
Where's the boy?
I don't know. I never met him. Why?
He's run away. You think he could be in any danger?
Not unless he's got his father's file.
What would be in the files?
Well, I was able to get a hold of the Councilman McCormick's markers. Now, just by themselves, that wouldn't look too pretty in front of a grand jury, right?
There he is.
You want to tell him first about his grandson?
Yeah.
You have news of my grandson.
Lee, we have some bad news for you. Your grandson's dead, Lee.
He was found in San Francisco, a drug overdose.
It is as I feared. I have relatives there that can bring him home.
Is there anything we can do?
No. I have already caused you both much trouble. I will tell his mother. It is a family matter.
Lee, there's another young boy who's in trouble. His father was murdered, and well, I'm afraid that some of your people are involved. We need your help, Lee.
What can I do?
Good evening. How's the Shui Mai tonight?
Please, come with me.
You're all under arrest. Everybody freeze. Get your hands above the table. Steve, come in and tell him, will you?
Mong ơi, ngồi như này này, nè, ai ấy, gặp anh cháu xong lại đổ bốc.
Larry, cover that door, will you? They're gonna get their names. Everybody's name.
Anything's gonna happen?
Something better happen soon. I'd sure hate to have to explain this raid to Parks.
I hate to have to explain anything to that hardhead.
Come out.
Looks like somebody's making a move.
You're in charge of this?
That's right.
Let's go outside. You've made a grave mistake.
Oh, yeah? How do you figure that?
This is not the night we agreed for a raid.
Uh-huh. Well, I tell you, I'm taking all these people in, and that includes the money.
You people must be new to Vice. Why don't we talk? My name is Fong. Being new, you should not get what the others get. Yet.
Well, what do you think we should get?
$500 a week for all.
500?
For everybody? Does that sound fair to you?
Hmm.
Why don't you show Mr. Fong what you got in your purse?
Mr. Fong, we'd like your help with a little matter we're investigating.
Yes, I will do it. Okay, thank you.
How can I help you?
I'd like to see either Sergeant Anderson or Sergeant Crowley.
I'm sorry, they're both out. Can I help you?
Can I have a pencil?
Will a pen do? Front desk, Officer Boyer speaking. I'll have you transferred to burglary or theft. Thank you.
Could you please give this to Sergeant Crowley? It's very important.
Okay, let's go. I got places to go and people to see.
You should learn to better schedule your time. Or when we hurry, we are more prone to mistakes.
You're a regular fortune cookie, you know that? Well, hey, you guys. For a minute, I thought you were a couple of 211 artists. What are you doing here?
We were about to ask you the same thing.
Meeting a snitch.
What's in the sack, Jack?
Leechy nuts. A friend I know likes them, and
What a whip.
You like lychee nuts?
You know, that was real stupid of you.
I bet you had more smarts than this, wasn't it? Okay, you got it. You're under arrest.
Crowley, I have read every manual there is on interrogation. You're wasting your time. Book me.
What's criminal conspiracy doing on this anyway? I mean, where's internal affairs, huh?
Oh, I get it. Conspiracy to commit gambling. Well, that's worth about a $50 fine.
What about conspiracy to commit murder?
You crazy? You know what a guy gets when we bust him for gambling? A $10 fine. The law is a joke. Nobody cares. So when I got offered $100 a week to do the same thing I've been doing for 5 years, well, why not? But get off this thing about murder.
Did you know Curtis Forrester?
Sure, a hell of a nice guy.
Well, we think your politician friend may have killed him. Or had him killed.
McCormick, come on.
He was about to expose him, Wagner. And your involvement in Chinese gambling interests.
Crazy.
You believe this? You recognize that?
Sure, it's McCormick's phone number, so.
These are Forrester's tolls. He phoned McCormick 3 days before he was killed.
Obviously to confront him with the story.
My name is Jeff Forrester. My dad was Curtis Forrester. Yes, he had your name and number in an appointment book of his. Could we meet someplace? I have to talk to you. Yes, sir? Okay. Thank you.
Crowley, I won't bore you with specifics. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Pepper, bring in those tapes, will you?
Being new, you should not get what the others get. $500 a week, or all.
500?
I'm sorry, Chief. We just don't know who was involved.
Bill?
Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but Mr. Mossman here. I mean, what is the Attorney General's interest in this case?
Forrester went to them, for obvious reasons.
I've been studying your techniques, Sergeant. Do you conduct all your investigations in this fashion?
In what fashion?
Unilaterally?
I think the important thing right now is to get the job done. And we got two immediate problems. Find Jeff Forrester and bust McCormick. Yeah, Joe, what do you want?
Excuse me. Forrester boy left it at the desk for you.
Sergeant Crowley, I have most of my dad's files. I'm going to meet with someone who may help. I'll keep in touch. Sorry I missed you, Jeff. Joe, you and Pete get a team together. Check every hotel in the downtown area.
What kept you? Long was late. Taken care of it. There won't be any more.
What's that supposed to mean, Wagner?
Well, it's simple. We had an agreement. I take care of the games. You keep everything in line. Well, Councilman, you went too far. It seems you're involved in a murder. Curtis Forrester?
You've been smoking some of that weed that you boys confiscate.
I know he talked to you. I've seen his tolls. And I know he was about to give us some big headlines.
Mr. McCormick?
Mm-hmm.
I have a warrant to search your residence.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, now let's see what the lie detector says about Councilman McCormick. Hey, Rob. So, what do you think?
Our councilman is being very cooperative. Oh, I avoided any area that could jeopardize your gambling conspiracy.
Notice that. Thanks.
What about Forrester's murder?
Oh, he's clean, Pepper. They never met. Forrester did phone to set up an appointment. McCormick thought it was about a story on his good record in fighting crime.
But McCormick and Forrester never met.
That's right.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thanks.
Listen, call Bain's office. See if you can come up with any more background on Forrester's assignments.
What about robbery, homicide? You want me to call them?
Pepper, just call Bain's office, okay?
Okay, Forrester was here on the 19th.
Mr. Hawley, what was his primary interest with the Bureau?
He was writing an article on the futility of robbing banks. You know, because of the security, cameras, everything. We solved about 9 out of 10, which is pretty bad odds for a crook. And he also looked through the outstanding suspect files. That's suspects that are photographed during actual robberies, have been identified, but haven't been arrested yet.
Do you have that file in this office?
Oh, yes, we do.
Could I see it?
Oh, certainly. Most of them have been reduced to wanted posters.
Forrester looked through this hobo?
Yes, he did. Several of them interested him.
Oh?
Well, one in particular because he took it with him. Let's see.
Looks like we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, he took a copy of that with him.
Looks like...
We're gonna move on it.
Phil, the manager thinks the boy is staying here. Room 109, paid for 3 nights in advance.
Where's Pete?
Upstairs checking. Anything about the mongoose?
We just left there. He's gone. Robbery homicide's gonna stake it.
Stake that, huh? Yeah, look what I found in the kids' room. Looks like he's got a meeting with the mongoose tonight at 8.
Where?
Doesn't say.
I think I know where.
Yeah?
Jeff, over here. Son. You wanted to talk?
You worked with my father. I thought you might be able to tell me what he was working on.
Sure.
Hey, Joe. Pep, take that aisle.
It's your dad's file?
No, just some notes I was taking.
Anybody know about this meeting?
No.
What happens to Jeff now?
He's gonna stay with the Baines till they can find a good foster home.
Good. Is he okay?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay. Hey, son, listen. I want you to keep in touch with us, will you? Gonna stay in touch?
Well, all I can say is that I love you both.
We love you too, honey. We really do. It's tough. We know it's tough.
Hey, Jeff, listen, what do you say I get this Sunday off? Why don't I come by and pick you up? Spend the day together, okay?
Pepper,
Oh, well, I don't know about Pepper. Yeah, okay, with Pepper.
Okay, you gonna tell me?
It's very simple. First you fry your sausages, then you add your peppers, your mushrooms, your garlic,
That's
your
not
parmesan.
what I mean.
Smell this. Huh?
You're evading the issue. You broke every rule in the book.
I felt sorry for the kid, just like you did.
No, there's more to it than that. Come on, why?
What do you want, the story of my life? You already know that.
You never talk about when you were a little boy.
You never talk about when you were a little girl.
I never was a little girl.
I'll buy that.
Bill.
Okay, I was in the home.
Like Bart.
No, it's probably worse than Bart. You wouldn't believe what goes on in some of those places. I wasn't going to let that happen to that kid.
Want to go to San Francisco?
When?
Tonight.
What are you talking about?
I've already got the tickets.
Are you kidding? I got 2 days of report writing to do.
The review board reviewed our little traffic accident. It seems we failed to avoid an avoidable accident. We are on a 2-day suspension.
We are?
You wouldn't believe what goes on in San Francisco.